Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy full moon. Happy, just gonna say happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and happy solstice. Winter up here in the north and summer down for all the Australian people in the group. I know there's lots of people down in Australia and New Zealand in the group too. So welcome. I'm just going to wait for people to hop on here. And it's kind of, I know it's a holiday weekend and people are probably busy, so hopefully people can watch later. But anyways, I'm just here to talk about this time of year and what it means, and that it's a really special time of year. It has a lot of different meanings for a lot of people, and it can be a really tough time of year and a confusing time of year. And I think with awakening, it becomes even more confusing. Because we question how we were raised, we question our beliefs, we question, church, what we were taught, the Bible, we question ourselves. Maybe we weren't religious and now we're feeling more drawn to certain spiritual figures. Maybe we were really, religious, involved with the church, and then we became very dissociated with it and hurt by it and angry, and it's turned us away. So we have a negative attitude towards, the church. And I think with awakening, we go through stages. We go through stages of awakening, but we go through stages of our beliefs, and it evolves and it changes. So what you believed 6 months ago or a month ago is maybe totally different than what you believe today. And 6 months from now, it's likely going to be different again. So I'm not certainly here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to just kind of shed light on things and explain a few things of what things are, what Christmas is and what it isn't, what Jesus's message is and who he is and was and isn't, a lot of things that he wants cleared up. And I connect very strong with him, and he does prefer to go by Yeshua, which is his real name. And again, this isn't about Christianity or religion at all. And that's the whole point of me being here, is to actually clarify that for this time of year. So I'm just going to kind of hop into it. So Christ consciousness, what is it? This group is a Christ consciousness group. It's not religious, it's spiritual. And Christ consciousness is an energy. To be a Christed being, you become love. Your vibration hits 1,000, which is the highest that it can be. And you become love. And it's nothing but a high vibration. To get to that vibration, it takes a lot of work and a lot of healing. It takes a lot of acceptance, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of clearing of your energy, whether it's energy work, nutrition, who you're around or not around. So it takes a lot of work to get your vibration that high, and learning how to transmute negative energies and work with negative energies. And as I say transmute, I don't know if you can tell, there's like a little violet kind of right there, a little violet light, and with the candle kind of behind me, and that's, it's normal to have some light refraction from candles and lights, but not the violet color. The violet color indicates that Saint Germain is present. And I did check in, and he says, yes, I'm here. We're transmuting. And so Saint Germain's energy is here now with us, and that's the violet. And I've got some pretty cool pictures of candles with crazy violet flames coming around and that. But so Christ consciousness is an energy. It's the energy of love. It's high vibration. It is, it's, in a nutshell, that's really all it is. And to become that love, it takes a lot of forgiveness. And what is, what is Christmas? It's become something very distorted, unfortunately. It's, it's definitely not what Yeshua, Jesus, wanted. He didn't intend for any of this. He did not intend to be worshiped. He did not intend to be celebrated in this way. He intended for his message to get out there. He intended for the message of love and unconditional love and forgiveness and acceptance of everyone as equals to be out there, to treat women with utmost respect. To me, he was the first feminist. He's an absolute feminist. The way he treated and revered, Mary Magdalene as his other half, as his disciple and his wife. They were married and they did have children. And she was given the task of carrying on his work and his message. And it was just, there's a lot of things in the, the Roman side of things and the Jewish side of things that he just didn't agree with. He didn't like how women were being treated, or the poor, or, lepers, or there was something wrong with you, and you did something bad to God. If you had a son born, with, like Pontius Pilate's son with his not injured leg, but he was born with a deformed leg and he couldn't walk, so he couldn't be like a soldier, so he was bad. But Jesus's message was, no, everybody's equal. Everybody is made in the eyes of God, how they should be. And women, children, sinners, everybody's a sinner. So it's basically no judgment. And as we go into 5D Earth in this awakening in the ascension process, it's about raising vibration and bringing in Christ consciousness. This awakening is Christ consciousness. Whether you want it to be or not, if you have resistance, go inside and see where that resistance is. Where does it sit? Likely it's related to something in a past life, persecution or something with this life, to how you were raised, things that you were taught, expectations and rules that you just don't sit with. And what I ask is that first you go back and see where those are coming from and heal those. But second is, let's start with a clean slate, and we really need to take an eraser to what the church has not 100%, but mostly said about Christianity and Jesus and who he was in his message. And there's a lot of churches that are getting the message right, but a lot of churches are also about fear and rules and dogma, and you have to do this, and you have to worship, here and go on Sundays or you're bad, and you have to tithe and do all these things. He wanted nothing to do with that. He wanted nothing. In fact, when he did Sermon on the Mount, they were like, oh, we got to do it this way so we can get more money. And, and he's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. We're here to get the message out. It's not about money. So I keep seeing somebody kind of pop on and off, and I don't know if hopefully there's not an issue with my internet. I'm hoping if there is a problem, somebody just type your name in there, because I keep seeing something flash on and off. So I'm hoping the connection's okay here. So if you do pop on, please type your name, or if there's an issue, just type that there's an issue with the internet, because I keep seeing an eye flash on and off. So I'm not sure if maybe I'm having trouble with my internet, and my vibration's really high. So it's possible that I have interfered with things before. But anyway, so yeah, Jesus did not want all of this stuff to do with Christmas. He's like, yes, of course, I accept it is what it is now, because this is kind of what church and society has created it to be. And I asked him, what are the things that you're okay with and not okay with? And so kind of his take on Christmas is, yes, of course, he's okay with the family getting together and the love sharing and the energy coming together, and with, giving and doing things for people, the raising the vibration and just celebrating. He's all for those things. He's not going to not be. you know, the decorations, I was like, what do you think about Christmas decorations? He's like, yeah, fine, it's no problem. The music, it's funny. He's like, no, he's not a fan of a lot of the music, and it's because a lot of it's just has nothing to do. Some of it is, but very little. It either has nothing to do with him or his message, or it's the wrong message, like him as a savior, him as, you know, son of God and all these things. And to clarify, he wants people to know that he was a regular man. He was a regular man that studied really, really hard. He spent, I think it was 13 years. He spent about 13 years with, sorry, I'm getting a lot of pop-ups on my computer all of a sudden. He spent about 13 years studying with the Buddhist from age 12 to 28, something, or 13 to 28. So he spent a long time studying with the Buddhists in Tibet. He did a lot of introspection and that on his own. Sorry, my dog is chewing his bone. And he, sorry, I just totally got distracted by my dog. He, as far as the music goes, a lot of it's worshiping like he's God. And he's like, no, was a regular guy that was, you know, he's a very old soul. He was very much, was his mission to teach and to get this word out of forgiveness and love and unconditional love and acceptance of all and not judging people. And that really, in a nutshell, is who he was. That's all he wanted to share, you know, and respect for everybody and equality for everybody. And that's in a nutshell who he was. Yes, he did some amazing healings. I do Reiki, and Reiki in essence it was discovered by Dr. Usui, and in essence it is the same and very same energy that he used. Now, he was amazingly good at it, and he did perform miracles. He did those things. He channeled energy from God and healed people. He absolutely did, because his vibration was so high, because he was such an open, pure vessel, and his heart was so open and so big. So yeah, he did those things. Was he God? Yes and no. No different than you or I are. He is God within him and God within us. You know, he was a Christed being, and there was many other souls that have been Christed beings. Again, it means anybody like Buddha was a Christed being. When you get your vibration that high, your vibration goes high, and you know, you've got that energy of love in your heart. That's what a Christed being is. That's what it is. So really anybody can become a Christed being if you do that work and you become that love. So yeah, a lot of the songs are just not necessarily the right message, per se. It's not the message that he wanted. And then some of them have nothing to do with him. It's just about winter and snowmen and whatever. And they're fun. Like there's nothing wrong with them. They're fun songs. So I love Christmas music. You know, Oh Holy Night's my favorite song. I'm going to keep listening to it, but I know his thoughts on it. I understand what his thoughts are. So the other thing is, you know, I think a lot of people know this now and a lot of people may not, but he was not born December 25th. He was born in September. The reason why we celebrate it December 25th is at the time, and I think this was about, I can't remember, I'm no historian or anything, maybe 300-ish or so, give or take, AD. The Roman, when Christianity really started to grow, paganism was actually the more predominant, was becoming the more predominant practice, okay, at the time. And the Romans didn't want anything to do with that. They were like, nope, can't do this because it's giving too much power to the individual, you know, because it helps people too much in a sense. So they were like, okay, the pagans celebrate December 21st, their solstice. They make a big deal. They dance around trees, hence the Christmas tree, you know, all the different decorations. That's all pagan related. And I totally love and respect, you know, a lot of the pagan rituals and views, because it's really the love and respect for Gaia, for nature, for animals, for plants. And they just have this profound connection to Gaia. And I feel like that too. So, I connect with Buddhism too, and Christianity. So you could technically say I'm a mixture of all three in a sense. And a lot of us are, we just don't realize it. But at the time, December 21st was the winter solstice, and everybody was celebrating and having big meals. It's the harvest meals and all this stuff. And so they were like, okay, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to put it here. We're going to celebrate his birthday and make a big deal of it. And it grew. I don't necessarily think that they intended it for it to become what it is now, but it grew. So hence we have Christmas December 25th. So I still celebrate it, but in just a different way. It's a much more downplayed way. I don't buy the crazy amount of gifts like I used to. I try to do things for people instead, instead of, buying, like feeling the pressure, and that's not something that he agrees with, obviously. And I think a lot of people are changing, is the pressure that I have to, get everybody, in the family something, and that there's judgment if you don't. And it's just doing whatever you're drawn to do, whether it's baking for somebody or doing, today I shoveled, it's why I was running late, because it snowed. We had a good snowfall, and I was shoveling, and I shoveled, the sidewalk and that in front of my house and both of my neighbor's house and in my driveway. And so, it's just doing things for people. It's sharing love. It's, whatever. Gifts are fine, but it's got to be that it's genuine from the heart, that you want to do, or, share something with them. It's sharing love. It's sharing the energy of love. And you can give a gift in many forms too. You can, again, by doing things for people. So the other thing that he wanted me to share is the whole return of Christ. So, of course, in the Bible and the church, they always talk about the return of Christ. Well, is Christ coming back? Well, really, he's here, but it's Christ consciousness energy, and it's carried within Twin Flames. Twin Flames, the 144,000, are here carrying, and light workers too. We are the return of Christ. We carry the energy of love, of unconditional love. And Twin Flames, when you go through this journey, it's all about unconditional love and becoming love. And that's what Twin Flames are. So we're here to teach. We're here to first learn this ourselves through the very difficult challenges we have with ourselves and with our awakening and with our twin, because a lot of icky stuff happens between us, and it triggers us, and we get angry at each other and push each other away. And in that process, we learn unconditional love, that no matter what they did to us or we did to them, we learn to love each other unconditionally, without any judgment. So once we learn that between us, we can then take those lessons and the challenges that we went through and teach it to everybody else. And to teach this Christ consciousness energy. And so in essence, we are the return of Christ. And I know it sounds like crazy and like, you're full of yourself, your head is big. This is what it is. It's energy. It's the return of the energy. The return of unconditional love, the return of, non-judgment and high vibration, letting go of the ego, letting go of anger, letting go of, the whole matrix, energy and dark energy. And granted, we have the shadow aspect of ourselves that's always, going to be part of who we are, and we accept that and we embrace it, and we don't judge ourselves, and we love ourselves completely, not just the good aspects of ourselves, but we love every aspect of ourselves. So it's self-love, and it's love for others without any judgment. If you find yourself judging another, reflect it back to yourself, mirror it back, because then that's something that you're seeing in yourself. And if you see something good in another person, then you're actually seeing the same good thing in yourself. You admire that. And the other thing that he wanted me to share is, and I'll tie this in with the ascension process, it's the crystalline grid. The crystalline grid is now active, and that is basically the ley lines in the earth. So there was false ley lines. There's now new ones that are built and they're now fully activated, all within the earth. I'm not going to say core, because it's not, because the ley lines are roughly 200 or so feet down, and they crisscross the entirety of Earth. And I have learned through this ascension awakening process that and this was told to me by my Reiki teacher, actually, that I'm a dragon rider. And I'm like, what the heck is a dragon rider? Well, you may know or may not know that only 5% of this physical vessel is who we are. We are in other dimensions and other realms working all the time. Our higher selves, are in other dimensions. We can go places in other dimensions, and we work in our sleep intensely. So I've learned that in my sleep, I'm a dragon rider. I work with a lot of dragons and doing the ley lines, doing the grid work. So, light workers each have different tasks or jobs. And for me, it's grid work and holding light, anchoring. I'm anchoring where I am. They specifically wanted me to, move and live where I am. And granted, my twin is here too, but right now they're like, no, you're not going to move. This is where you have to stay because of this spot on the grid, so to speak. Anyway, the ley lines, the crystalline grid, are now active, and they carry Christ consciousness energy. Dragons work with Archangel Michael and the archangels, and they are Christ consciousness. The dragons actually are Christ consciousness energy. And I work with them also doing Arcturian Reiki. So the crystalline grid, I did, thanks to a friend of mine in another group. She created with Archangel Michael and with the dragons a flower of life over Glastonbury. This was the end of November, maybe just right around December 1st. She created this, and her and I were talking, and we were talking about, some challenges I felt that my twin flame was having. And she right away, she was like, your guides are telling me that you need to do this activation and meditation at Glastonbury. So what she had done in the 5D was created a flower of life over all of Glastonbury. And in Glastonbury, if you don't know, it's in England, and that's where the heart chakra of the earth is. So there's different grid points around the earth of each, the earth has chakras too. The earth is a living being. The earth is a conscious being. So these chakra points are all over the earth. Glastonbury is the heart chakra. And it's close to Stonehenge, I believe. So she created a flower of life, energetically, with the dragons. And so my guide said, you need to do this meditation. So I went there in 5D with my twin. He joined me, and I saw it appear above my head. It was all gold and illuminated. And then we came together and we were kissing, and our energy when we came together and we were embracing, and just that intense love. And as we kissed, I remember looking up and seeing a whole bunch of cherub angels, the little love angels. And they were each, it was almost like they were birds. They each had like a little section or corner of the flower of life, and they flew out and they stretched out and they stretched out and they stretched out. And it was like, wow, that was amazing. And it extended as far as the eye could see. Like it just stretched out, and it was amazing. And then I remember standing and looking below our feet, and it was like you could see through the ground, and all of a sudden it illuminated. A flower of life appeared below our feet. And I was like, holy cow, what was that? And it was just our energy, the love energy. And as I looked down, then I could see all of a sudden my dragons all appeared. And when we do ley line work, like you'll see them, like I kind of direct them, and I'll just see them just building, and they just kind of go with it. They just take that energy and that intention, and they build out, and they're all through the earth. And that flower of life appeared below us, and it was gold, and it was illuminated, and it just like fire. And after, I was like, that was the most incredible, meditation. And I asked spirit, and I asked my guide, and I verified with my pendulum, and even had another friend verify that whatever I did, this flower of life above and below was completed through the entirety of the earth. And this was December 5th. And I was like, there's no way I did that. And it was like, nope, yep, you did that. Hey, Jennifer. So yes, you'll have to rewind later, Jennifer. I'm explaining this really cool experience I had at Glastonbury meditation. So anyway, I verified this, that, yeah, you just completed this flower of life all around the earth, above and below, and activated, like the crystalline grid was activated. And this was December 5th. Well, some of you may or may not know who Lisa Transcendence Brown is, but she's extremely connected. She sees energy very strong. I mean, she's been awake for a long, long time, and a lot longer than me. And but she sees energy, and she does energy reports. Well, then, and I didn't see this the next day, but I saw it a few days later, or she posted, I think it was on the 8th, about that her 12-strand DNA came online. And I went to her page, and then I saw December 6th. She was just like, whoa, all of a sudden the crystalline grid came online. And I'm not kidding. Like the very next day, the crystalline grid came online. She was able to see that. So, and she doesn't know me. She has no idea the work that I did. And I'm not gonna, there's no ego here. It's, this is just something that I did. And so she had posted that the crystalline grid came online, and it was so intense and so sudden, and she wasn't expecting it. She didn't know what to make of it. So a couple of days later, she was able to tap into the energy and interpret the energy and what that meant. And so she came back, and a couple of days later explained that now our 12-strand DNA is online, it's active. So we've gone from 2 to 12-strand DNA, and it's online and active. It's not completely activated yet, because if it were to completely activate, it would be too much for all of us, because that's where our spiritual gifts are. That's where our memories are. That's where our ability for our bodies to heal, even live hundreds of years old. That's where all that information is. There's a lot of encoded information that has been taken away from us that's now activated again, or will be activated. So this is simply incredible, that she was able to see that and put this together. So, and this is really significant. I'm sharing this because it's significant, because now that this crystalline grid is completely activated, the crystalline grid carries the energy of Christ consciousness, carries the energy of love. Okay. It's high, high, high vibration. It wipes out the false grid that was there. So it's gone. But with this grid activated, it's almost like if you imagine like cable or internet lines connecting everybody. Twin flames can now connect, telepathically a lot easier. Light workers, all of us can connect in 5D, in meditation space, and telepathically communicate easier with these energy grids, because it's just like a portal, and an access point to connect to each other. And, a lot of people have been drawn to move over the last year. And the reason why they've been drawn to move is because their energy was needed at certain grid points. And I know several people that all of a sudden were like, they had to move. I had to move unexpectedly in July. Same city, but I had to move because they needed you at certain grid points. So anyway, this crystalline grid is Christ consciousness. It's super high vibration, and it's going to help connect twins. It's going to help connect everybody. So we can share this energy of love, our communication. We can get a lot more done in the 5D during like group meditations. They're a lot more effective. But it's also going to help with the event. It's going to help with this ascension and awakening process. And it helps Gaia ascend, because Gaia is ascending with us. So that's the crystalline grid story. And the dragons, and that's really all I have to share, but the dragons are, they carry Christ consciousness energy, and they work with all the archangels. And there's also Arcturian dragons too. There's different types, but they are Christ consciousness energy, and they do maintain and activate this crystalline grid. And again, I had no idea what I was doing consciously, but my higher self did. And my higher self, again, works with this troop of dragons. And just as soon as I went in with this intention, my higher self took over and just completed all this work. And now as light workers, we each have different tasks and, and have different abilities and skills. There's so many things that I can't do that other people do, but we each come together in as little pieces of this puzzle. And we connect and we work together in the higher realms, and we just bring in the new earth, bring in this energy of love. And that's why we're here, and that's what we're here to teach the world too. As twin flames, we're here to teach Christ consciousness. We are Christ consciousness. We are unconditional love. That is the whole point of us, is unconditional love, and it starts with yourself and then goes out from there. It doesn't mean you have to be best pals and best friends with everybody. Sometimes it means loving somebody unconditionally and stepping away from them. Because it's also about self-love and following the path that is for your highest good at the same time. So that's also an aspect of it. Anyways, I think that's really it. I just want everybody to remember that this time of year it's about love and love for other, and respect for everybody, and not being judgmental, and forgiveness. And if you're struggling with like family, that maybe you've had a falling out, and that's happened to many of us with the awakening, because it's confusing to us and confusing to them, and you can't share these things because they think you're crazy. So you kind of just keep it to yourself and share it with other people on the journey, and that's kind of it. The relationships can become really strained. And what I recommend, if it's not possible in the 3D, is to go into a meditation space and connect with them, with their higher self. Do forgiveness work, do the Ho'oponopono. I can never pronounce that right. Do the prayer, the Ho'oponopono prayer. Do that prayer. It's powerful for forgiveness. Write them a letter. Full moon tonight, perfect day to do forgiveness work. Write a letter and burn it. It's a perfect day for forgiveness work. So get that energy out there. Tell them in the 5D, visualize them. Forgiveness. If you have to do karmic cord cutting, do karmic cord cutting with Archangel Michael. But you can heal this connection. You can say, I love you. You can heal connections in the 5D, and not have to, and it can shift things in the 3D, and just at least bring a sense of peace between you and whoever it is that you're doing the work with. So with the full moon tonight, it's a powerful full moon. It's about softness and love, and acceptance, and just embracing this energy. So it's a big full moon, but it's a very soft, loving full moon too. So anyway, so that's really my message. And I saw that only a couple people could join me live, but I know I was running a little bit late, so my apologies with that, but hopefully people can watch in the replay and just comment your thoughts. And I want everybody to have a really good holiday, but let's not have expectations of feeling bad of what it should or shouldn't be, or what you should or shouldn't do, or feeling alone. Oh, that's okay, Jennifer. Yeah, go back to the beginning for sure. It's not. So it's just like there's no expectations, and people get depressed easily at Christmas, and because it's like you should be doing something. Look at it as another day. Look at it as if you're alone, reach out to people or go volunteer at a shelter. Otherwise, it's I'm trying to see it just. It's another day. Jesus was born in September, and we're celebrating solstice, and we're celebrating the earth, and we're celebrating the awakening. We can celebrate that every day. So don't put that expectation on yourself and bring your own energy down thinking, oh, I'm not with anybody, or, I'm alone, or I'm not with my family. Just try to look at it differently. Try to connect with other people or do something for someone. But taking away, we're really letting go of old traditions and just looking at things with a new, fresh perspective of the awakening process. And, if you're struggling with between Christianity or atheism and trying to find this happy middle, you'll get there, and there's nothing wrong with either. It's a matter of finding balance of what resonates with you. And I think as we go through the ascension process, everybody's gonna, find clarity of themselves and what it means to you. And it's different for everybody, and there's no right or wrong. I fully respect people that, go to church and are very Christian, and those that don't, and those that are pagan, and those that have no belief or are very confused and have anger. That's okay, because there's been a lot of lies too by the church, and there's been a lot of misconceptions and a lot of distortion. So anyway, so yeah, that's just, it's about learning it yourself, what's within you. So I'm going to hop off. I didn't want this to be too long. We're at 36 minutes. So have a wonderful full moon, happy solstice, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate or don't celebrate. It's about peace, forgiveness, and love. So let's just whittle it down and take away the titles. Peace, forgiveness, and love is what this is about right now in the energy. And that's what awakening and new earth is about. Peace, forgiveness, and love. Okay, guys, that's it. We'll drop the titles. Okay, drop the titles, because the titles create separation of you're this belief and you're that belief, and that, and they're that belief. That's separation. We're all united. We're all, it's unity consciousness. So there is no right or wrong, and there is no my belief is better than your belief or your belief is wrong, because we're all united. It's all unity consciousness. And hi, Gabriella. Sorry, I'm just finishing up. You'll have to go back and watch the replay, but you'll when we really stick and identify to a certain belief, then sometimes, I'm not saying it is, but it can create separation, because then you're like, well, this is my belief and I'm rigid, and this is my dogma, and I can't do that because the rules say I can't do that. So we have to drop rules. We have to drop dogma. We have to step away from a lot of the programming and just go with the foundations, which is love, unconditional love, forgiveness, acceptance of everybody, and peace. That's it. That's all it is. And I think everybody wants that, and everybody can agree on that. So if you agree on that, do a thumbs up, do a heart, please. When you do the replay, please leave a comment, because that's what it's about. We need to get rid of the labels. We need to get rid of the titles, because they create separation. And this is not about separation. This is about unity consciousness, and bringing in the 5D earth. Okay, guys. So that's my message for the holidays. And please reach out. Please reach out if you're having a hard time. If there's anything I can do, or if I can do, offer a free Reiki session for anybody that's in need of it, I'm more than happy to do that too, to help anybody that's struggling. So please just reach out. Reach out to neighbors. If you see anybody that's struggling, reach out to them. So I love you all. Have a happy holiday. Bye-bye.